record. Hi, everyone. It is Rachel from Enjoy and the Joy Project, which most of you know that we just got started. I'm so glad that you are here. I am here with Kate, and she's going to introduce herself in a second. But just if you're not familiar with me, I'm Rachel. I'm a plant-based personal trainer who also believes that joy is the strategy, both for helping us with our wellness and just for sprinkling joy out into the world. So I will post the links. I've got two groups here on School, Enjoy, and the Joy Project. I will be posting those in the comments, but this right now is not about me. This is all about Kate and all of the amazing things that she is going to share with us. So I am just going to kick it over. Kate, if you want to introduce yourself, give us a little bit about who you are, where you're from. I'm a little bit jealous of where you live, so we can talk about that later. But you are going to also give us all the amazing things that eating plant-based or vegan, however, we can talk about naming things later as well. But you are going to give us such amazing information. I can't wait. So, Kate.
Rachel, thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here with you and with the Enjoy community. And super brief intro on me. I am a vegan health coach, and my community within School is plant positive. So we are very aligned. I am all about the power of plants and also enjoying the journey. Late lesson for me. I will say for our non-vegan friends, and I am guessing that is probably the majority of you, please don't be fearful of the V word. I've left my angry vegan years behind. Maybe we'll touch on that. That used to be my strategy. It wasn't effective or fun. So wherever you are right now, I am here to meet you. And I found that to be the most effective approach. And anyone who's just more open to more plants, you have my heart and my support. I am so grateful because you are the minority. Today, we are going to talk about my 8-step self-care framework to thrive with plants. And if you know me, which you probably don't, I love to get my acronym on. I just find that makes it a little bit more fun. So self-care is an acronym. And
Self-care. Self-care. Okay.
self-care,
Okay.
yeah, it's an
Love it.
acronym. And, I'm going to run through the 8 steps and I'm going to throw to Rachel whenever I get sick of my voice because I will and you probably will as well. And, for anyone popping up at any point in time, ask questions in the future. I'm super responsive, as is Rachel, but I reckon let's just make a bit of a start. And I guess I will frame this by saying I'm all about the love and compassion and deliciousness. That's my approach to vegan health coaching. And that's what I would suggest should be your approach towards you. I believe you and your body are a team. And so that is what this is about. And, let's get rolling the S in self
Can I
care.
just ask quick first though?
Yeah,
Where are you
yeah.
from? Where are
Oh,
you
I'm so
calling in?
sorry.
Like, no, that's
This
okay.
is
That's
an
okay.
Aussie.
I'm from mid. So as people know in the groups, I was in Austin, Texas. I am thus the weird lighting here. Just moved to Minnesota, so I'm figuring everything out. So I am in the United States. So I am in the northern part of the United States now, getting ready for winter. But you are.
Yeah, I'm in Australia. I am in Noosa on the Sunshine Coast. Rachel, I've got weird lighting because it's 5 a.m. here. I'm in the future, 5 a.m. Friday morning. I actually lived for 25 years in Sydney, though, which is a big, beautiful city. And now I've moved to a much smaller paradise for that more relaxed, enjoy the journey type of a lifestyle. So that's where I am.
Meaning we maybe should do a joint event somewhere near you someday. That is my goal. That is my goal. I'm putting it out to the
Amazing.
universe, coming to you, Kate. Anyway, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure that you kind of have a level set of we are global in terms of how we do
100%.
things, how we do things here.
Perfect. I am all up for your interruptions, so do them at any point in time. Back to S in self-care, and that is the self-talk, right? The only person you get to spend 24/7 with is, of course, yourself. And I remember back in the day when I was stuck in the business from hell, which was a gym franchise that I was part of. I used to go to bed every night thinking and telling myself I didn't get enough done. And I'd wake up every single morning thinking I'll never get it all done. And, even a decade or so prior to that, I was a debilitatingly shy teenager before I joined the gym. And my self talk was all about my scrawny upper body and chunky lower body. And that's just not supportive, right? That is not the way that you would talk to a friend. And so, a vital part of self care is being cognizant of your self talk to yourself and making it supportive. And if we wanted to get actionable, which I'm going to try and do throughout today, my one step for you listening right now is to think of that self talk that is reoccurring in your mind. Your unconscious mind is listening 24/7. And to think of that negative framing self talk that keeps coming up. And I want you to reframe it to something more supportive, something kinder to you, the way that you'd talk to your little sister or best friend. And just start with one. It might feel manufactured at first. However, it's amazing how supportive my self talk is now. And I think the way that we talk to ourselves is also reflected out into the world. Maybe this is going a little bit off track, but I've found that now that I'm less judgmental of myself, I'm less judgmental of other people too. And that's just a happier way to live in the world, right?
So
So
how do
that is number
you,
one.
yeah, so how do you, Kate, like what is one really simple way to, if I don't have any sort of positive self-talk, like where would I start? Like what is one
Yeah.
really simple thing that takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds that I can start with?
Track your language for a day and see what is just really feeling really hurtful and that you wouldn't say to someone you loved. And, heads up, you should love yourself and you can cultivate that. We're looking to build that today and come up with something really short and easy. Maybe this is something that's going to evolve over time. So I don't want it to be exaggerated over the top. It needs to resonate with you. One of my go tos is just, you've got this. Like, I don't really need to say it about my body or anything like that anymore. But if I'm doubting myself in a certain situation, you've got this. It's just really easy and supportive. And that's a go to for me. And so, yeah, I'd love you to come up with an easy go to for you that you can turn to.
I love that. And one of the things that and I actually got this, let me credit my mom for this, but one of the things, I don't know how many years ago, I was going through a divorce. She said, okay, put your hand before you, like when you wake up, before anything else happens, you put your hand over your heart and you say 5 good things about yourself before you
Yes.
get out of bed. Now, let me tell you, when I started, it took me a really long time. I don't even know if I can say 5 good things. But now I like put my hand, my alarm goes off, I put my hand over my heart, I say 5 good things, and then I'm out. And sometimes it feels silly, but it really, one, spoke to me, to your point. It was hard for me to think of 5 things. That was almost 20 years ago, 20 years ago, right? But to start my day that way feels good. So I'm giving myself some good self-talk even before I get out of bed, right?
I love that. Go your mom. And there's something so special about putting your hand over your heart as well. You feel that connection with your body. And once you can communicate it, you can have it. So if you're struggling to get those words, to think of those good things, it's not the sign that they're not there. It's just the sign that you need to put more effort in and come up with them. And that is what is going to move you forward in terms of this loving relationship with yourself. So love that. That is fantastic. Go Rachel's mom.
Go Rachel's mom.
E,
Yes.
step two. Exactly, go Rachel's mom. E is for elicit your values and use them as a daily filter for your decision making. So this is a big one, and maybe it's probably my second favorite. It's my go-to for anything. Your values are those emotional states that you're naturally drawn to. So there's no right or wrong. However, if you're not aware of your most important values yet, think of where you spend your time, energy, and money. And, to share mine are freedom, integrity, and passion. And they're super powerful in helping you make the right decisions, particularly when they're aligned with your goals. And maybe we'll get to that down the track. However, where the self care component comes in is once you have absolute clarity on your values, those emotional states that you are naturally drawn to, they help you with the decision making process, what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to. And that is like so powerful in terms of looking out for you. We all know the wasted energy when we say yes to something that just isn't aligned with our values, even if we don't know what our values are yet. You can feel it when you make those choices. So, this is about making the choices that support you and also the version of you that you are hoping to become. And so far as a first step, I would say if you're yet to get clear on your most important values, this is the time to come up with it. Brainstorm as many values as you possibly can, no limits, and then prioritize them to your top 3 to 5 and potentially even your top one. And if you're really stuck, I'll share with you the time that I first became aware of my values was when I was not living them at all, when I was stuck in that
Mm.
business from hell that I mentioned. And I felt like I had zero freedom. And that was what led me to realize that freedom was and still is my number one value because I wasn't living it and life was completely miserable. And that was how I came to know that freedom was number one for me.
I love that. So the self-talk and then knowing your values. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, and once you do, as you said, there is, and I know you said your top value is freedom, but there is a freedom in then it's easier just to live your life because you just know how to, like, joy is my number. I mean, I didn't think it was because it doesn't.
I'm
Try
not
to do all.
surprised.
I try to do like all F ones, like faith, family, friends, fun, fitness, finances. I mean, so yes, that all fits. But honestly, joy is like my number one thing. And once you lean into it, things just become easy, right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
just side note, all of you who are listening or just checking in now, we are talking about plants. We will be talking about like eating, but I love the fact that this whole like space that you have starts just with our being, like our actual being, whether it be spiritual or mental or physical. You're starting with our being. So okay, we got S, we got E. What's the L?
We're going to get to plants right now, Rachel, because a
Leafy
three is
greens. Is it
Alice
gonna be leafy
lock.
greens?
Pretty much, right? Alice lock and load the big rocks that
Oh,
keep you happy and healthy, right? So big rocks are those vital habits that you load into your week before it gets too busy. And you'll have an idea of what they are for you. For me, they're food prep, they're exercise, they're meditation, their time in nature. I was a trainer for 19 years, right? And I was full on the health, the nutrition, the exercise. I wasn't so good at the happiness. And, it's still, I need to learn a little bit from Rachel and her focus on joy and prioritizing the journey is something that I'm getting much better at now. But that's why it's lock and load the big rocks that keep you healthy and happy. Happy is super important. And do you know, a few years ago when I came up with this acronym, I used to share that I needed to escape to nature to do a big long walk along the beaches in Sydney once a week. And that was true then. Right now, today, I need time in nature twice a day, not once a week, twice a day, or I'll be a moody little grumpy bum. I've changed. It's recognizing what you need, right? And we can dig into the first big rock for me is food prep. We can dig into that further if you would like. Yeah. So for years, I was vegetarian for 23 years, right? From 16 years old, and I've been
because that's where
vegan
we
nearly
start.
30.
You don't go full on. You don't go full on plants from that, right? You like there are stair step things which we can talk about, and hopefully, Kate, you'll be a guest again. But So yeah, there are stair-stepping things. So yes, would love to. Yeah.
There are for most people. I wish I had gone vegan from day dot. However, that's maybe a conversation for another catch up.
Yeah.
However, I became vegan 10 years ago, and I'd already been a personal trainer in a very gym bro type of a gym for, a decade at that point in time. I'd been that weird vegetarian personal trainer around all the steak and egg loving gym bros. And I
Chicken and
rocked
broccoli,
into the
right? Chicken and broccoli.
100% a bit of sweet potato. I rocked into the gym and I said, "Hey guys, I'm going vegan." And I remember one of the trainers said to me, "Well, goodbye lean muscle mass." The reason I'm sharing this is because early days vegan, I made it so much harder than I needed to because I had a point to prove. I knew if I got it wrong, if I lost some muscle and heaven forbid gained some fats, like that was me back then, I'd be making the lifestyle look bad. So I was all about the perfect meal prep and I was all about hitting not just our macronutrients, not just our carbs, proteins, fats, hitting all those vital micronutrient goals in every single meal, adding spirulina to everything. Hint, that pretty much ruins everything. And just making everything from
Spirulina
scratch
in
and
its like place has its place, but not
oh,
in everything, right?
100%, 100%. So that was early days, right? Made it harder than I needed to. My approach these days, and the approach so far as more plants that I recommend, is food prep, not meal prep. And what I mean by that is you batch prep on the weekend, those individual components, right? And for me, there's always going to be a fibrous veg, so maybe a kale slaw or a roasted broccoli. There's always going to be a plant protein, so maybe my vegan burgers or a marinated tofu or lentils or black bean salad. There's always going to be a sauce because a sauce makes every meal, right? No sad salads when you've got some amazing sauces. And the fourth one in those four pillars is going to be some sort of starch. So it's going to be my baked smashed potatoes, my sweet potatoes, my quinoa. They're the four pillars of food prep that I now lean on and I recommend to my
Okay, say those four
clients.
again. Say those four again.
Yeah. You want a fibrous veg. So this is where your leafy greens come in, Rachel, and all the other amazing cruciferous friends like your Brussels and cabbage and kale. You got a plant protein. I've probably got multiple of them. That's where the power is. You've got a sauce or a cheese substitute because we need that deliciousness. And number four, we've got your starch. So that's going to be the more starchy veg or like a rice, a quinoa, all of that deliciousness. They're your four pillars.
I love that. And I love, honestly, Kate, the way that you were describing it in terms of because my people know I do not spend time in the kitchen. I am not a cook. I do not do the things, but I do the things based on what you said. Sometimes they don't always fit together. So sometimes my meals are a little bit like crazy. Not anybody wants to eat them, but I love the way that you described not meal prep, but you said ingredient
Food prep.
prep. No,
Food prep.
food prep. Food
Yep.
prep because I do that. Like when I bring my
Yep.
vegetables home, I prep my vegetables. My vegetables are all prepped in my refrigerator, so I can grab any one of them. Right. I do have some quinoa or some brown rice or something like always in my refrigerator. I've always got salsa, right? Because I like the hot stuff. So I love that way of thinking about things, and I need to be better at and thank you for reminding me about always having a protein prepped because that is what I don't always have prepped. And as a plant based eater, that is, I mean, I absolutely encourage my clients always to have protein prepped. So why don't I? I don't know, but love that you're reinforcing that for me. And I'm going to call it now food prep, not meal prep. Because meal prep,
Boring. Restrictive.
yes. And seriously, you get like 2 days in and you're like, okay, I don't want to eat that
Yeah.
anymore. So yes, love, love,
100%.
love
And
food prep.
I I recognize that I'm the weird one. I can find something I love and eat it 5 days in a row. Most people don't want that. So the thing with food prep, you've got all the components and then they can turn into whatever you happen to fancy that night. And I feel such a sense of calm and control when I start the week with a full fridge and freezer. And I would say for anyone who's not quite there yet, Rachel, and anyone listening, you don't have to prep all four pillars. Maybe you buy a couple and you prep a couple. So maybe you buy your mixed green leaves and your kale slaw, and you buy your marinated tofu, and then you prep your tofu ricotta or your cashew cheese, and you prep your quinoa and lentil mix, whatever it is. Start with whatever is manageable for you, and then we'll build on it.
I love that. And the other thing that reminds me of, Kate, is that so many of you know, I just transferred myself from Austin, Texas to St. Paul, Minnesota. And in the meantime, I did spend 3 weeks with my mom and her husband. Lovely, lovely, lovely husband, Mike, who is like, I swear he's got a spice store in his
Amazing.
in his pantry, right? He is the cook of the family. And so he sent me to Minnesota then, because they live in Wisconsin, with a whole bunch of spices. And his comment to me was about, Rachel, I think more people would like, he's not plant-based. I think more people would like plant-based eating if they knew more about spices. I'm like, well, that is maybe one thing, right? Is to
100%.
explore, because people are like, tofu's boring. I'm sure you've heard that a gazillion times. And I'm like, well, it is because it doesn't taste like anything. But if you have a spice rack, a spice counter, if you have a little bit of imagination, which I don't, which then I turn to you or to my mom's, to Mike. I just call him Mike because I love him. Like there are ways in which we can make food super exciting.
I love that. It is so true. And, if you're not 100% on board with the plant-based yet, like it's just a little bit of work up front, as it is for any delicious recipes. I know, you've
Everybody
probably
has to use
had
spices because you can't just cook hamburger without
100%.
any spices, right?
100, and you've had recipe flops irrespective of the way that you eat. Sometimes recipes don't work, right? It's not just because they're plant-based, it's because that one was a flop and we try again, we learn from it. I've had plenty. I want to make this a tiny little bit actionable as well. And so,
Yes.
still on the big rocks, I would suggest to our listeners, what is the one big rock that if you fast forward like 365 days and you had been committed to this one habit for a full year, you would be super blown away by the results? Whatever that one big rock is, food prep, exercise, meditation, time in nature, lock that in and give it a try and see how you go.
Lock and load. Okay, that was L. And I'm sorry, we went on a total tangent. That was my
We
cat.
meant to.
That
Was that a
just,
cat? Oh, I love it.
sorry,
Okay,
he
awesome.
just like jumped
Awesome.
in front. Sorry. Okay, now we are on to
Hilarious.
F. We're on to F of the
Yeah.
self-care.
F is the filter the people you spend time with. So I want you to think of the individual that whenever you spend time with them, your energy is absolutely sapped. They are an energy vampire. You are so drained after you've spent time with this individual, and yet you still do. And now I want you to think of that person. You are on such a high after you've spent time with this person. They're your best buddy, that girlfriend that you have a few drinks, I love a few Shirazes with, and you have the best conversations, or whoever it is. Maybe you talk business with them, but you are just on such a high. You are in control to a degree of the people you spend time with, not 100%. And, with the vegan lifestyle, this can be particularly hard with non vegan loved ones. However, with any lifestyle, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, really. There will be people in your life who you disagree with on important matters. And I would love as an action step to think of either the person that you would love to spend more time with, or the person where your life would be better if you spent just a little less time with, and action that.
And action that. And I will just call out to some other people then, life coaches that are in both of our communities, probably. If you do need to, this is awful, but exit somebody from your life, there are people as well. So hopefully some life coaches or other boundaries coaches that we both know pop in here as well, because that is true. I believe that to be 100% necessary and hard.
100%.
but necessary. And so I love that you call that out.
Well, I could not agree more. I exited, and that was the word I used, a best friend from my life a number of years ago. And it was absolutely the correct decision because his values and my values were not aligned. And we were fun friends for a decent period of time. And often there's a bit of a sunk cost fallacy where they're like, yeah, but we've been so close for so long. And it's like, but we're different people now. And that's okay. And that's where it's important if you are super clear on your values and your goals and the type of person you want to be in the world. And there's someone in your life that just doesn't align with that. It is okay to kindly exit them from your life.
Yeah.
And equally,
Kindly,
those
but
amazing
kindly.
people,
I mean, I think
kindly,
you had those words. Like if you do the
100%.
self-talk, I'm looking at your thing. If you do the self-talk, if you know what your values are, if you are locked and loaded, then it's okay to say this person does not fit.
Yep,
And there can still be, you can still wish good things and still wish joy
100%.
for them in their life, but that does not necessarily mean you need to have that person right there.
100%. And on the amazing friends, potentially someone listening does not have that person in their life right now. And that's okay. We live in a world where we have access to everyone 24/7 all around the world. For a period of your life, maybe you actively schedule in more time via podcast or online community or whatever it is with the individual who's like a mentor and best friend, even if you haven't met them yet. Like
Yeah.
that can fill a gap for a period of time. I'm very conscious about the podcasts I listen to, the energy of the people I want to spend time with. Less true crime these days and more the super hot, happy, positive people that I
Oh
want to spend time with.
my goodness, you were speaking my language, Kate. Exactly. I used to be 100% in the United States. I was watching Dateline, which is all about somebody gets killed, and then
Yep.
they figure it out, right? Like, I was a super
Yep.
star watcher. And then finally I'm like, okay, my views are skewed because I think everybody that I'm going to meet is going to kill me, which is not the truth, right?
Not
Right?
good.
Like,
Not happy, not
okay,
joyful,
I'm a
Rachel.
single woman, so I can't date because people are going to kill me. That's stupid because
100%.
I'm watching this because that was what was infiltrating my
Yep.
space, right? So to bring in not only people, but things that I am watching and listening to. So yeah, I 1,000% cut all that out. I only listen to happy people. It's all about, I mean, in this world, I listen to happy people and I try to listen to news that
Yeah, 100%.
news, not
Yeah. It's a
whatever to bring in
fine line,
politics or
right?
whatever. But yeah, I
We
don't know how
can't
to say
be
it.
ignorant. Like
No, we
we
can't be
can't be
ignorant. We need
completely
to know what's
ignorant.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
All
love
right.
that.
So
We're
we
on the
got
same
through
page.
self.
Yes. So let's get into care.
Let's
C
get into
is for
care.
create a not to do list. So I'm all about the to do lists and being super structured and effective with my time. And I've cycled through all the best practices for that. However, do you know what comes first before the to do list? It's the not to do list. It is buying yourself some time, right? So, in the same way that your ideal day tomorrow starts the night before when you get a good sleep and you plan your day to come, your ideal to do list get starts with a not to do list. So these might be those actions and tasks that you resent. They might be the conversations, again, that you have that just suck too much energy. Whatever it is, your not to do list is a really powerful step in helping you on your self care journey. And this is a tiny bit off track, but I just love the structure. One of the things that I do nearly every month, if I start to feel a little bit overwhelmed with all the things, all the opportunities, all the drive, go, is I do a continue, stop, starts. And I think of three things in my life. I do a big brainstorm on A3 paper, and then I think of three things I want to continue. And this is like enforcing where you're doing really well, right? Your daily exercise, your food prep, your meditation. Tick the box. I am nailing that. It's positive self talk. Yeah. Those are your three continues. Next up, We want three stops because they're going to buy time for your three starts. You can't just start, start, start. You need to stop to buy yourself some space. So think of three things that you want to stop doing. And Rachel, I'm going to throw to you. Is there anything that you want or need to stop doing right now?
Yes. And honestly, this move has helped me just a tiny bit, but it is the impetus to I live by myself. I live with a cat. He does not talk to me very often. So I used to use TV as I would come home and I'd flip on the TV just to have noise in my space because
Yeah.
I live by myself. So it was like some comfort of that. So I moved, I don't have the same kind of options, and I am learning to like not have my TV on. So that is my stop. Like I
Nice.
I love college football. I love NFL football. I know it's called soccer other places, or no, it's only called soccer here. It's the real like American football. I love American football. Let me just say that. So I am only watching TV now for American football.
Amazing. And so our listeners can see how that buys Rachel time for something she
Time in
might
my
want to
day.
start doing. It buys you time for that food prep, doesn't it?
Okay, Kate, I'm not really sure. Yeah, yes, yes, it does. I'm not committed exactly, but yes, it does buy me time. So yes.
I would suggest to our listeners to get started. You even if you don't do the whole continue stop start, although that is a powerful tool for whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. I'd love you to think of the one task in your week that is really weighing on you. It's costing you too much energy. Usually, that energy, when you're not even actually doing it, you're just thinking of it beforehand and probably dreading it. And actually, if you were to exit that task from your life, it really wouldn't cost you too much. The downside really isn't that much, but the upside feels like freedom for just stopping that one thing. If you have one of those things in your life, I suggest stopping that as a
No,
start.
1000%. And that is what I did when I moved here. I stopped watching morning news and I started
Yes.
meditating during that time.
Amazing. What a good swap.
I mean, it's a great swap. I have to figure out how to get again. I think it's important to be connected. So I'm
Yeah. Yes.
figuring out how to be connected with my local community, but it like seriously, I can't even figure out how to watch local news because I'm not
Yeah.
that smart. So I just meditate during that time now. So okay.
Amazing. I love that. What a good swap. Step 6A is for a 24-hour digital detox. Now, I used to have this in my little acronym for years when I wasn't doing it. I did it for a period of time, became a raving fan, and then I let it go. And often that happens with good habits. And about a year and a half ago, I started it again. Only do this 24-hour digital detox if you want to rock into your week to come fresh, focused, full of energy. I obviously hugely recommend it. And if you feel daunted by 24 hours, start with whatever feels right to you. So 12 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, whatever feels right, and the rules are yours. For me, there's no laptop, there's no email, there's no social media, there's no clients on WhatsApp. I let them know I'm off for my 24-hour digital detox. However, I will take phone calls from friends and text friends and listen to podcasts. So they're my rules. It's about feeling fresh and focused once I come out of it. And it just breaks that cycle of always checking. You know, the always checking, Rachel, the school, the
Always you're
email,
like,
the
what is
whatever
happening?
it
What
may
is happening?
be.
What is happening? Like, it's always there. It's always there. So do
Yeah.
you do a digital detox every week? So you have
I do.
24 hours within
Yeah.
every 7 days. I love you for that. And I need to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I was super strict with the 24 hours early this year. Now it will often be 20, 22 hours, and that's cool. Again, self-care is about finding what works for you, not putting huge pressure on yourself, right?
Love it.
So if meditation is part of your self-care, that is amazing. Don't waste guilt when you skip a day. And same with me, if I'm stressing out that there's stuff I need to do and my 24 hours needs to become 22, that's cool. I've still gotten 22 hours. That is all good. So I like mine. It works from lunchtime Saturday to lunchtime Sunday. It means all of Saturday afternoon, I am not online. I'm not checking my phone in bed. I wake up and I do not check my phone. And I
That
log
is
on
a
maybe just a bit
really
before
good
lunch.
like time frame
Yeah,
because then you still
yeah,
get, I love that. I love that.
yeah.
I
All
used to
our
do,
schoolers, all our schoolers have to work it in with your little like if you care about the flame on school, just make
okay,
sure
because
that
I
works for
lost
me.
mine. If you're a flamer, if you're like a
Yeah.
schooler, I lost mine because I like took a bunch off when I was moving. So I lost my
Yeah.
flame. But
Find
yeah.
what works for you. You can do a full 24 hours dependent on your time schedule. It works for me here in Australia.
And again, flames in
100%. They're not impossible.
whatever, stars, whatever. I mean, it happens, whatever. So I was going to say
Yeah.
one other thing. Oh, so one of the things that so do you, Jesse Itzler, are you familiar with Jesse
Yes.
Itzler?
I am, but I can't even tell you what he
Probably
is
because
now.
his wife is the owner of Spanx. So if you own
Oh,
any
yes. Okay.
Spanx,
Yep.
you know
Yep.
her.
Yep. Yep.
So love to put the woman first. But
Yes.
Jesse actually puts this 64-day calendar. He calls it the big ass calendar. He puts
Yep.
his calendar out. And one of the things that he encourages is you do 24 or 48-hour detoxes throughout the year. So I try to do at
Nice.
least two 48-hour tech detoxes
Nice.
throughout the year, but that's two. But
Nice.
I love what you're doing is like it's not separate then because my whole thing is I don't want to do things that are separate than my life. I want to do things
Yep.
that are part of my life. And I love your whole thing, much like my don't put a label on it thing of, oh, if it's 22, if it's 23, if it's 20,
Yeah.
20 hours, it's still a detox, right? So
Oh,
there's no
100%.
police that are coming to say you did it wrong. It's just about intentionality of
Yeah.
stepping away.
Yeah.
Love.
100%. Like if your self pressure is something I do really well and I'm looking to get better at just releasing that, right? If you're feeling so much pressure at keeping this perfect habit, it probably needs a little bit of finessing, right? You probably need to be a little bit gentler with yourself so that it is sustainable.
Not
And I
give
would also
up,
suggest it. No,
just be
100%. Just
gentler. I love
lower
that.
the
Like
bar.
just be
Yeah.
gentler. Because sometimes people are like,
Yep.
oh, I can't. So I'm just gonna not.
No,
So I
certainly not.
love your fact of just try it. Just be gentle in trying it. Okay. That was A.
100%.
All right. We have
And I
R and
would
E
just say
left.
too, I would suggest to our listeners, think of that thing you would love to do on your 24-hour digital detox or however long it is. This is all about the joy, right? It's about enjoying life. So what do you want to do when you have however many hours computer and work free? Who do you want to catch up with? Where do you want to go? Time in nature, whatever it is, focus on that as well. We're not focusing on what you're removing or steering clear of. We're focusing on what you're adding and that joy. Cool.
Love it.
All right. Step 7 is my favorite.
Oh,
Actually,
this is your favorite?
R
All
is
right.
the
Get ready.
my favorite of all of them. Be ready. R is the realistic expectations for yourself and the people you love. All right, this comes back to my angry vegan background and my huge goal for a compassionate vegan world. I can get really hard on myself with my goals and the change I want to make. And I can be really hard on other people as well when they're not on the same page. And for everyone listening, you have something really important that you care about, and you have people in your life that are just not on the same page. Politics, religion, climate change, a vegan world. We all have things where we care so much, and that's important. We've got so much passion and drive, and we push ourselves too hard, and we have unrealistic expectations of the people we love. Something I speak to here, it comes from neuro linguistic programming, NLP. We all have different maps of the world, and your map of the world is your values, your beliefs, your life experiences, your goals and priorities, and more so what you make all those things mean. And it's different for all of us, right? And it's completely irrational and judgmental of me to expect someone with different life experiences and values and goals to have the same response and reaction that I do. So I need to lower the bar of my standards for them in order to maintain our quality of life and relationship together. That's an act of self care and self love for us both. And it's my favorite, Rachel, because it's the hardest for me. I have super high expectations for myself, and that works a lot until it doesn't. And I get disappointed in loved ones who don't meet me there. So this is my to work on. And if it's a work on for you as well, my recommendations are lower the bar to raise your chance of success, particularly
Mm.
for your loved ones, if you've decided that you want them in your life, which most of us do, and focus on what you have in common, right? It's so easy to focus on everything they do different and they think different and we're othering them, right? I want you to focus on all those things that you do have in common. And you know that toughest one in my life is my dad. Most big issues we think completely polar opposite on. Most of the things I care most about in life and the world, we disagree. We both love our cats. All right, we bond over cats then. There are cats and red wine. Let's talk about that all of the time. But think of what you have in common with those people that you love where you disagree about a few things as well.
Oh my goodness. That is, I don't even know how to comment on that besides to say that is hard and that is
Yeah.
necessary and
Yep.
needed
Yep.
and helpful and all of the things. I struggle with that as well. I'm not as excited about that as some of the other things, but maybe I'm not as excited about it as because I struggle with that. I mean, it is a hard it's a hard space and you're in a separate country and the world is a hard space. The United States is a hard space right now and it is so needed. So I'm glad you included that as your R. And what is the E?
So we've covered a lot, right? And E is all about easy 5 minute fixes because sometimes someone's going, I don't want to overhaul all my self-talk or elicit my
You
values
guys
in every
talked about a
single
lot of like
daily.
hard shit. Pardon my language.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
talked about a lot of hard shit today. So
I've
what
given
can
you
we
a
do
lot of
easy? Easy.
work,
Easy,
right? And
easy.
sometimes you're just like, give me an easy 5 minute quick fix, Kate. Well, I've got some of my favorite here. And number one for me is journaling. Journaling became my most impactful habit last year and perhaps my most impactful habit ever. I love to lift, right? Lifting weights was my most valuable habit for decades. Exactly right. Check out
You
those
can
guns.
look like use
And
your like little arms too, like big arms there too. So
journaling became my most impactful habit last year because I was seeking calm and clarity. I recognized that I was always running around saying, I'm spread too thin, I'll never get it all done. I was seeking calm and clarity. If you are seeking that as well, or if you want to escape overwhelm, if you want more clarity in your thoughts, if you want to focus on your goals, journaling is actually like self coaching. You can start with 5 minutes. There's no right or wrong. Just start. That's a 5 minute quick fix. Meditation. I mean, that's a cliche for a reason because it works. If we wanted to up level it, my latest habit is whenever I can, meditating up against my favorite tree by the river, leaning up against that big, powerful, strong tree. It's my heart too, Rachel. It is beautiful. And that just up levels an already powerful habit. And again, no right or wrong. Don't judge yourself that your mind is wandering. That's part of it, right? It's recognizing that and bringing your mind back to the practice. And 5 minutes is enough. My last one, this might be controversial or unusual. It is new for me, but 5 minutes of writing supportive messages. It used to be to your friends or via email. However, recently I've cultivated my social media feeds to feel like this supportive little almost vegan world. It's full of deliciousness and activists doing amazing things, and that is intentional. and a little bit delusional. And I'll spend 5 minutes every evening sending off these beautiful, supportive, genuine messages to people I respect. And that just, strangely, I feel beautiful for that. And I feel even nicer the next day when a few nice messages come back. However, that is a quick fix that you could consider a form of self care, self love. Those are three of my top ones.
No, that is beautiful. And what a beautiful way to like to end your whole self-care. So it is all about um and again, we talked a little bit about leafy greens and things, but really self-care is really all about doing all of the other things too, right? It is about making sure that we are loving ourselves and community and each other in a beautiful non-judgmental way. So that's, I mean, that's really at the end of the day. And then taking actions towards how do we love ourselves? Sorry, putting my hand over my heart. How do we love ourselves? And how do we love others?
100%. And Rachel, I'm sure you're the same. People come to me as a vegan health coach and they want all the eating and exercising actions. And that is fun and simple. And I've got all of that for you. However, it's only going to be sustainable long term when we lay the foundation for your future success. And that is the mindset. And that is why most of what I have covered today revolves around the mindset that you're looking to build and nurture, right, for yourself. And as you shared, for everyone else as well, because that is what makes it sustainable and joyful.
1000%. So three things going through my mind right now. One, you're awesome. Two, I would love to have this like ongoing conversation about this. And then also I think we could have awesome conversations about quinoa and protein and what do we do to like fuel ourselves. So I see these like future conversations. But
Amazing.
also I know that you brought your community, my community, and whoever else is listening to this, like it is, yes, food is important. How we feel ourselves is important, but also most important to ourselves and to our beings is how we love ourselves and how we live joyfully in community. I mean, those kind of are
Beautiful.
the themes, right? It's about how do we self-love and how do we care for ourselves? How do we do these things that make us feel good and strong and healthy first so that we can go back and give to community and other people.
So well said. I have nothing further to add because that was absolutely perfect. And I am so grateful that for the opportunity to speak to your Enjoy community and to get to know you a little bit more, Rachel, as well. And yeah, excited to collaborate further in the
Yeah.
future.
So how do people get a hold of you? How do they work with you? Like, what does that look like if they're like, oh my goodness, I love Kate's energy. I love everything she has to say. Like, how do I get more? How do I get more of Kate? Like, how do they do that?
Thank you so much. Best places connect with me in my community. Plant Positive is free on school, and we're a growing little community. I love the vibe there. It is super supportive, as is your space, Rachel. I do one on one coaching there. I'm about to launch group coaching. I have my Plant Positive Journal, which is a book, and my Healthification podcast, which is 900 plus episodes. So I do a lot, and it's all around thriving with plants and yeah, plant positive on school.
Okay, love it. So I will drop, so when we post this, because it's going to be posted then in both of our communities, I will make sure to drop especially all the ways to get a hold of you and to work with you. Yeah, any last thoughts? Anything you want to share with anybody who's going to listen to this?
I just want to say I'm super grateful for this opportunity and my heart. Oh, perfect timing with the pussycat. I need your
Sorry,
photo.
my
And
cat is showing
my
up just at
so
this second.
perfect. And my heart is so grateful to anyone open to learning more about thriving with plants, because if you're listening right now, you are the minority, and it can be really hard. I'm vegan living in a non-vegan world, and as I've shared, I struggled with being an angry vegan, and that's not effective or fun. And now I just am so grateful for anyone who is more open to learning about this lifestyle. So, huge thank you to anyone who's listening.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you, Plant Positive. Whoever else is listening. Sorry, my cat now all of a sudden wants to be in part of this like conversation. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Thank
we
you.
will talk to all of you soon.
Perfect.
All right. I